A few months ago, I couldn't have imagined that I'd be making such a post, but here we are. My name is Alina. I'm 16 years old. This summer, my family went through a major upheaval. My mom and dad got divorced. It was devastating for all of us, but hardest on my mom. It turned out that my father had been cheating on her with a woman from his department at work named Laura for 4 or 5 months. As soon as the divorce was finalized, literally this summer, he married Laura in a small ceremony, and I refused to attend the wedding. My mom, Maria, who's 43, is probably my favorite person in the world. She's incredibly kind and gentle, always has been my primary caregiver and emotional support throughout my life. Thanks a lot, Dad. She was always faithful to him, so this wasn't a both were cheating situation. She was utterly devastated when Dad confessed to the affair and left, but I could see how she tried to hide her feelings from me. She often told me to go out with friends when she was crying or dealing with legal matters regarding the divorce. Laura, who's 41, is the complete opposite of my mom. She's shallow and annoying, the typical blonde who seems 19 in terms of emotional maturity, even though she's middle-aged and 2 years younger than my mom. She knew my dad was married to my mom and apparently enjoyed her role as the mistress for months, even though she knew I existed because I met her a couple of times when I visited Dad at work, and he introduced me to her as his daughter. Since my parents divorced, Laura has been actively taking on the wife role. She acts like she's now some perfect housewife, constantly baking bread, trying to be sweet with me, and so on. But I can't forget that she was the reason our family fell apart when I was preparing for my important exams. My parents have joint custody of me and live in the same small town, so on weekends I stay with Dad and have to endure him and his affair partner. I still think of Laura that way, acting like lovebirds. I usually just stay in my room until it's over. I hate Laura, obviously. My relationship with Dad is more complicated. Although I'm furious with him, I still love him because he's my father. But this morning, everything came to a head at breakfast when Laura tried to call herself my stepmom after I mentioned that there was a parent-teacher conference coming up at school and that Dad needed to attend. She apparently wanted to go too. I was in a bad mood because I hate mornings, so I muttered something rather rude about her intelligence under my breath. The conversation went roughly as follows. Laura, please don't talk to me in that tone, young lady. Me, I'll talk to you however I want. I know this was rude. Please don't judge me too harshly. Laura, I'm your father's wife now, and you'll have to accept that. Me, and this is where it all went wrong. A whore with a ring is still a whore. That's when the conversation ended because Laura burst into tears, and Dad got really angry. I'm currently sitting in my room writing this, not sure what to do. I'm starting to feel kind of guilty because it was Dad who cheated, but I don't forgive Laura and don't think I'll ever like her. I hate making people cry, and I don't know whether to go down and apologize or stand my ground on this. Dad and Laura are acting like I said something insanely out of line, and I'm starting to think that insulting her was the wrong move because I don't want to start some new massive family drama. Please tell me, am I really in the wrong? And if so, how can I make this right? Several hours later, I still couldn't find peace. I replayed the incident over and over in my mind. On one hand, I felt guilty for stooping to insults. On the other hand, the pain and resentment overwhelmed me. I decided to call my mom. Hi, Mom, I said quietly when she answered. Alina, sweetheart, what's wrong? Concern filled her voice. I told her about what happened at breakfast, how Laura tried to take a place in my life that, as I saw it, she had no right to. Mom listened attentively without interrupting. I understand how you feel, she said gently, but resorting to insults isn't the answer. It only hurts everyone around you, including yourself. But she destroyed our family, I exclaimed. How can I just accept her? No one is asking you to accept her right away. It's a complicated process, and you need time. But try to channel your energy into something positive. How about we meet after school today and talk? I agreed. After talking with Mom, I felt a bit better. She always knew how to find the right words. In the evening, we met at our favorite cafe. Mom looked tired but still maintained that same softness and warmth. Alina, I want you to know that all your feelings are normal. You have the right to be angry, hurt, disappointed, But what's important is how you deal with these feelings, she began. I just can't stand seeing Dad act like nothing happened, I said, staring into my cup of tea. I know, but remember, your relationship with your dad is your own. No one can force you to feel something you don't, but maybe it's worth telling him how you truly feel? I thought about it. I'd never spoken to Dad about my true feelings. Maybe it was time. The next day, I decided to talk to Dad. I went downstairs and found him alone in the living room. Dad, we need to talk, I began. He looked surprised but nodded. Of course, what's going on? I feel betrayed. You cheated on Mom, on our family, and now you want me to accept Laura as part of my life. It's not fair. He sighed. Alina, I understand that I made a mistake, but I'm still your father, and I love you. Do you love me? Because your actions say otherwise, I retorted. He fell silent, not knowing what to say. I need time, I said. I want to live with Mom full-time, and please, don't force me to spend time with Laura. I'm not ready. Dad nodded. I understand. I won't pressure you, but please know that the door is always open. I returned to my room feeling relieved. I had finally expressed my feelings. A few days later, I started seeing a therapist, as I had planned. The sessions helped me sort out my emotions and find ways to cope with them. Laura tried to contact me several times, but I politely yet firmly declined. I wasn't ready to communicate with her. My life gradually started to improve. I spent more time with Mom. We worked out together, went to the movies, just walked around the city. I felt that our bond had become even stronger. One evening, Mom approached me with a suggestion. How would you feel about spending the summer with your aunt in another city? A change of scenery might do you good. I smiled. That would be great. A new city, new people, new experiences, all this helped me distract myself and look at the situation from a different angle. I realized that life goes on and there's so much ahead of me. Upon returning home, I felt much stronger and more confident. I decided to give Dad another chance, but on my terms. We started meeting from time to time, but without Laura, I still wasn't ready to accept her, and that was okay. I learned the most important thing: it's crucial to take care of yourself and your feelings while also remembering that people around you can make mistakes too. Life is complicated and full of challenges, but we can always choose how to react to them.